is this is setting up the left hand side of the uprights. Make sure the foot plate is on the outside and the numbers are facing forward on the front, and exactly same on the back as well. Now we're going to install the cross beam, but another tip, the bar will stand upright by itself, but it could be a little bit wobbly. So if you have someone else to help you, that would be great. But otherwise, just be very careful when you're installing it. But just for spatial awareness, it's a good tip to connect that there, just like that, so you know where you want to plant your upright, because that's the space it's going to take, just like that. The back logo plate, the VULCAN logo plate onto there. This is a little bit heavy. Having another person would help, but let's see how this is done if you're going to install it yourself. So step 1 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So on the 6th hole, you put the bolt there from the top. Same there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you put the bolt there as well. And you leave it there. And now we're going to grab the logo plate and see how this is done. This is if you're installing yourself, but if you get help, it's a lot easier. So it's sort of a strategy where we're going to flip the logo plate up. So you do that, and then you secure it using the nut and bolt, and you're going to do the same step there. And now you're going to secure that using the nut and a washer. Now we're going to do the step of flipping the VULCAN logo plate. So put the bolt into the second screw there, just like that. And now we're going to flip the plate up, just like I've been doing, and then you secure that on one side. Now it's going to stay there, stable enough, wash your nuts, and you're going to do the same process to secure that there. Now we have the rack ready for installation of the Olympus pulleys. As a tip here, tighten the back bolts, but leave the front bolts loosen, as you'd have to undo them to install it. So now you'd have to take the front bolts out in order to install the pulley system. So grab that piece there, bolts goes through the top there, just like that. And now secure it. Now you got to install the base of the pulley. So take those 2 bolts out. Make sure the pulley is sitting on the outside over the base plate, just like that. And you secure it back in using the bolts that you just took off from the top and bottom. Grab this piece here and we're going to install it. So it's easy as that, slide in. But the key is to make sure the final hole is here. So it's not like that, not there. You have to secure it in that hole there. The back hole is the last hole. So you put that long pin there. And you put 1 on each side, 2 on each side. And you undo that. And once that's level centered, you tighten the 4 knots just like that. And you repeat the exact same process on the other side as well. Again, make sure the final hole is just there and not forward, just like that. As you can see, that leaves you with 1 hole in the front. And you can repeat the same process on the other side as well. Grabbing these 2 rubber stoppers and sliding them through on each side. This is quite an important step, is because if you don't put these, and if you put all the weight plates, you got to redo them again. So emphasizing this again, make sure you grab these black rubber stoppers and put them on the base just like that. Install all the weight stack, grab the top plate there, slide that through just like that, and that goes in and that rests there. Here is You need the pin there, secure it, put through that in the front there, and now grab that one there, and you can just secure it there, just like that. You don't have to tighten all the way, just about that is enough, and that's one step there, and that's right there. Grab this piece here, make sure the small one is at the front, and that's the big one, and we're going to install that up there, and let's see how this is done. So you got to unscrew the bolts there, just like that. And just sit there, and that will just sit there, and now you're going to secure the bolts again. So that it gets enough height. Yep. Yep, perfect. Grab two of the bigger bolts, pretty much the biggest bolt, and you have to lift it up just like that and put the bolts in and secure it. And you're going to repeat the same process on the other side. Now, step is installing this piece to the handle there. You've just got to take out the pulleys and the bolts out. And you're taking this out is because when you install the cable, it makes your life a lot easier. So you grab that bolt out as well. Yep. Scar, and then you secure it back again. Just like that. The cable, so grab that just like that, put through, make sure this end is on this side here, and secure that there, and so you run the cable through. So every time you run the cable through, you have to undo the pulleys just like that. Yep. And then now you have to secure it again. So that's done. Pull it through a little bit. Pull the cable all the way through. So tip is to make sure the black ball is on this side. I'm just gonna go through that hole. As you can see here, you have to undo the pulleys in order to get the cable through. That's the only way those front steel part of the cables can go through quite easily. And now I'll show you how this is attached to the handles. So once you've done the cabling through, just take the screw out there and just run it through the bottom one, just like that. Yep, cabling is done.
Check how tight or loose they are. What you want to do is just grab the cable, pull it out a little bit, and make sure this black ball moves forward a little bit before this top plate comes out. If you're pulling it all the way out here and the top plate hasn't moved, that just means the cable is way too loose. So what you'd want to do is take the pulley out of this system and just twist it down so this gap becomes smaller. Unfortunately, it's a bit of trial and error, but generally if it's about that far out, it's about 5 twists down. And keep repeating the process until you get a little finger gap between the ball and just this little framework. So from there, you'll see it's going to be nice and smooth. Once the cables are done, just make sure you do all the nuts and bolts up. They're just 17 mil, and you'll just notice that where all the pulleys are. Once you do that, repeat that on the left-hand side, and then you're all set with the cables.